They told you that strength comes from power, from wealth, from status, from control. But what if I told you the greatest power Allah ever placed in this world is already inside you? A weapon no human eye can see, a force no army can stop. And yet, most people will live their entire lives without ever touching it, because this weapon isn't made of steel or fire. It's made of light. It's hidden not in your hands, but in your heart. Ibn Arabi once said, "There is nothing closer to Allah than the heart of the believer." That means every breath you take, every thought that awakens, is connected to something divine. But the tragedy is, we've forgotten. We walk through life thinking we are weak, when in truth, we carry within us the power that shapes the universe. This is not a story about miracles that happened long ago. It's about the miracle that you are. Because before Allah gave you a body, He breathed into you a part of His own spirit. And if you can remember that, if you can awaken the light that has been sleeping inside you, then the world around you will begin to change. So, listen carefully, because what you're about to discover is the secret Ibn Arabi called the weapon of the soul, the hidden power Allah placed inside you before you were even born. There is something ancient inside you, something more powerful than any force in this world. But most people will live and die without ever discovering it. They'll chase wealth, approval, and temporary victories, forgetting that the greatest power has always been inside them. Ibn Arabi said, "The universe was created so that Allah could be known, and the human being you is the mirror through which he sees himself." This means the soul carries a reflection of divine power. But when you forget who you are, the mirror becomes covered in dust. You start to believe you're weak. You start to believe the world controls you. But Allah has already armed you with something far greater. It's not in your hands, it's in your heart. It's the weapon of awareness, the light of remembrance, the strength that rises when your soul remembers its source. Ibn Arabi called it the secret within the soul. It's the one part of you that belongs only to Allah, untouched by ego, untouched by fear. This is your true weapon, your connection to the infinite. It doesn't destroy with anger, it transforms with light. It cannot be seen, yet it changes everything it touches. When awakened, you don't need to prove anything to anyone, because your silence begins to carry the weight of truth. This weapon doesn't fight wars, it ends them. It doesn't shout, it reveals. And once you begin to live from it, no insult, no betrayal, no darkness can break you. Because you no longer fight as a human. You move as a soul, guided by divine strength. But the world doesn't want you to remember this. It distracts you with noise, fear, and endless comparison. It teaches you that power comes from position, fame, or control. And while you chase the outside world, the weapon inside you begins to sleep. You pray without presence. You speak Allah's name, but your heart doesn't listen. And so, you feel empty, not because Allah left you, but because you stopped looking within. Ibn Arabi warned, "You are not weak, you are unaware." The moment you remember who you truly are, the illusion of weakness disappears. Your heart wakes up, and suddenly, the same world that once scared you starts to bow before the light that's been inside you all along. Every human being carries two worlds inside them. One world remembers Allah, the other forgets. One whispers patience, mercy, and peace. The other screams for control, revenge, and pride. And between these two worlds, your real battle begins. Ibn Arabi called this the Jihad al-Nafs, the struggle of the self. He said, "The greatest war is not fought with swords, but with the heart." This is the war every seeker must face. It's not against people, not against destiny, but against the part of you that resists the truth. Every time you get angry but choose silence, every time you're hurt but choose forgiveness, every time you feel fear but still trust Allah, you win a battle most people never even see. That is what sharpens your hidden weapon. Your weapon is not your voice, not your body, not your wealth. Your weapon is your ability to return to Allah when your lower self wants to run away. The ego loves noise. It wants to prove, to argue, to be seen. But the awakened soul knows that silence speaks louder than words. When you stop reacting to everything around you, you begin to hear something inside you. The still, soft voice of the divine guiding you toward peace. And in that moment, something changes. The same problems that used to break you now become your teachers. The same pain that made you cry now becomes the fire that purifies you. Because Allah does not test you to destroy you. He tests you to awaken you. Ibn Arabi said, "Your enemy is your teacher, for through him you learn who you really are." If you only react with pride, you'll keep fighting the same battles again and again. But when you look deeper, you'll see that every person who hurt you was sent to reveal a part of your soul that still needed healing. The Sufis say, when you fight the darkness outside, it grows. When you fight the darkness within, it dies. That is the essence of the inner jihad. To face yourself with truth, to accept your weakness, and to let the light of remembrance wash away the dust of ego. You don't conquer the world by force. You conquer it by mastering your own heart. Because the one who has control over himself is more powerful than the one who controls nations. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The strong one is not he who defeats others in battle, but he who controls himself in anger." So, ask yourself who really rules you. Your emotions or your soul? Your fear or your faith? Every day, life gives you small battles, moments of choice where you can either react or rise. These are not random moments. They are spiritual training. Every act of patience builds your light. Every moment of remembrance strengthens your shield. Every step of forgiveness refines your soul's weapon. The awliya, the friends of Allah, never used their power to destroy. They used it to heal, to forgive, to illuminate. When the world insulted them, they smiled. When others cursed them, they prayed for those people's peace. Because they knew the secret. Mercy is the sharpest sword of all. A man once asked a Sufi master, "Why do you never defend yourself when people attack you?" The master smiled and said, "Because my silence defends me better than my words ever could." That is the state of the awakened. They don't fight for victory, they live from victory. Their victory is not in being right, it's in being at peace. Their weapon is not to destroy, but to transform. Because once you master the war within, no force outside of you can ever defeat you again. That is the inner battle, the greatest war you will ever fight, and the only war that will ever lead you back to the peace of Allah. Ibn Arabi said, "Every breath you take is a door. Either it opens to Allah or it closes." That is the secret of presence, the moment when you stop living in memory or fear and start living in the sacred now. Most people don't live in the present. They live inside stories, stories of what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. They pray while thinking about their problems. They walk, but their minds are miles away. Their hearts